start again. Once I lived the life of a millionaire. Spent all my money, I just did not care. Took all my friends out for a good time. Bought bootleg whiskey, champagne and wine. Then I began to fall so low. Lost all my good friends, I had nowhere to go. If I get my hands on a dollar again, I'm gonna hang on to it till that eagle grins. 'Cause nobody knows you when you're down and out. In your pocket, not one penny, but as for friends, you don't have any. When you finally get back on your feet again, everybody wants to be your long-lost friend. Says mighty strange without a doubt. Nobody knows you when you're down and out. When you finally get back on your feet again, everybody wants to be your long-lost friend. Says mighty strange without a doubt. Nobody knows you. Nobody knows you. Nobody knows you when you're down and out.
Welcome to First Parish in Needham. Thank you. That was awesome, as always. Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Humanists, Theists, Atheists, Agnostics, Seekers, and Interfaith Families. My name is Claire Galkowski. You can learn more about all that's happening at First Parish by going to our website, uuneedham.org, and signing up for our weekly email newsletter, or by following us on social media. Our order of service is online too at the QR code in your pews and at the website uuneedham.updates.church. Please speak with our ushers, greeters, and Zoom hosts if you have questions or accessibility needs. At First Parish, we covenant to live out our shared values of the inherent worth and dignity of every person, respecting our earth and its fragile, life-enabling atmosphere, and co-creating beloved community. Whoever you are, whoever you love, whatever your background or identity, age or stage, whether you walked or skipped or shuffled or rolled in, and wherever you're participating from, hello, Zoom and YouTubers, you are welcome here. We even condone dancing in the pews. In our 9 years as members of this community, I have sung in the choir, co-led summer services, and helped our fabulous coffee hour cleanup crew. I've been deeply supported during difficult times. Most dear to my heart is the Green Congregation Committee, led by our steadfast leader, Eleanor Rossellini, right over there. We've put together Action of the Week themes, hosted inspiring movies, and plenty more. Our building is an ever-improving model of efficiency, thanks in large part to Ed Quinlan. Do I see him here? I don't think I see him here. We're working on a summary of how our facility's climate warming emissions have been cut over the years and where we can further improve. We hope these retrofits inspire each of us to pursue changes to our own homes and lifestyles so we're more gentle on our precious planet. Speaking of aligning our lifestyles with our values, I'll put in a plug for a Lane Lyceum I'm hosting on January 26th. It's called From Single Use to Zero Waste, What's Up with Recycling? If you're interested in joining the Green Congregation Committee, please speak to Eleanor or myself. One last thing. At today's Social Action Committee meeting, I'll be exploring interest in chartering a van or bus to Washington, D.C. on January 18th for the People's March, formerly known as the Women's March. We need at least 10 more riders to make it work. Stay tuned. Welcome again to everyone here in the building and online. We're so glad that you're here.
As we light our chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith, and the first two purple candles of our Advent wreath representing the gifts of hope and peace, we read words from queer Mexican-American educator and UU lay leader Pat Uribe Lichty. We come from many places, along different paths, bringing different truths. We come with different histories and different realities, and yet we come together as one people, with faith that we can use our differences. We come seeking to find community, to find acceptance of who we are. In this place, we may find others who are much like us and others who are much different. May our lit chalice remind us that we are a people taught by different stories with many voices, but always one people working for a world where love creates justice and justice gives birth to peace. Our opening hymn, There Is More Love Somewhere, comes to our hymnal from the South African anti-apartheid movement. Your minister especially enjoys singing this song during the Advent season because the four gifts and candles of Advent are named in the verses: hope, peace, joy, and love. Please rise in body or in spirit and join in singing There Is More Love Somewhere. The lyrics are in your orders of service on screen and at number 95 in your gray hymnals.
There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more hope somewhere.
In the Unitarian Universalist tradition, the covenant is a set of promises the membership of the congregation make to each other to honor one another and out in the world. Whether we participate in our community online or in the building, we strive to live these promises every day. Please say along with me the words of our parish covenant, as in your orders of service and on the screen. We gather as a loving community to encourage and comfort one another. We gather as a diverse community to support each other in our search for spiritual truth. We gather as a service community to live our beliefs through action and care for our world.
In the winter of 2005, the Black poet and activist Dr. Maya Angelou was invited to deliver a poem at the lighting of the National Christmas Tree down in Washington, D.C. 2005 was the year of both hurricanes Katrina and Rita, and so Maya Angelou found herself with the task of writing a Christmas message during a time of hostility and natural disaster. The poem that resulted was called Amazing Peace. Steve Johnson and Lou Fancher created a picture book out of Angelou's poem, and for our Time for All Ages this morning, we will hear Maya Angelou reading her own poem set to the illustrations from the book.
Thunder rumbles in the mountain passes, and lightning rattles the eaves of our houses. Flood waters await in our avenues. Snow falls upon snow falls upon snow to avalanche over unprotected villages. The sky slips low and gray and threatening. We question ourselves, what have we done to so affront nature? We interrogate and worry God. Are you there? Are you there really? Does the covenant you made with us still hold? Into this climate of fear and apprehension, Christmas enters, streaming lights of joy, ringing bells of hope, and singing carols of forgiveness high up in the bright air. The world is encouraged to come away from rancor, come the way of friendship. It is the glad season. Thunder ebbs to silence, and lightning sleeps quietly in the corner. Flood waters recede into memory. Snow becomes a yielding cushion to aid us as we make our way to higher ground. Hope is born again in the faces of children. It rides on the shoulders of our aged as they walk into their sunsets. Hope spreads around the earth, brightening all things, even hate, which crouches breeding in dark corridors. In our joy, we think we hear a whisper. At first it is too soft, then only half heard. We listen carefully as it gathers strength. We hear a sweetness. The word is peace. It is loud now, louder than the explosion of bombs. We tremble at the sound. We are thrilled by its presence. It is what we have hungered for, not just the absence of war, but true peace, a harmony of spirit, a comfort of courtesies, security for our beloveds and their beloveds. We clap hands and welcome the peace of Christmas. We beckon this good season to wait a while with us. We Baptist and Buddhist, Methodist and Muslim, say, come, peace, come and fill us and our world with your majesty. We, the Jew and the Jainist, the Catholic and the Confucian, implore you, stay a while with us, so we may learn by your shimmering light how to look beyond complexion and see community. It is Christmas time, a halting of hate time. On this platform of peace, we can create a language to translate ourselves to ourselves and to each other. At this holy instant, we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ into the great religions of the world. We jubilate the precious advent of trust. We shout with glorious tongues the coming of hope. All the earth's tribes loosen their voices to celebrate the promise of peace. We, angels and mortals, believers and non-believers, look heavenward and speak the word aloud, peace. We look at our world and speak the word aloud, peace. We look at each other, then into ourselves, and we say without shyness or apology or hesitation, peace, my brother, peace, my sister, peace, my soul.
Last week for Advent, we wondered together how we can still be a part of making the world better, even while we wait for some things about the world to change. And this week, our worship theme is peace. In the poem Maya Angelou wrote, "Hope spreads around the earth, brightening all things, even hate which crouches breeding in dark corridors." What does it mean to have hope or to strive for peace during difficult times when the way is not clear and it seems like we are dealt defeat after defeat after defeat? What does it mean to have hope after or in the midst of disaster? Maya Angelou defines peace as more than just the absence of war. How does this idea of peace show up across all of the world's religions, not just Christmas during this time of year? Here ends our time for all ages.
Thank you, Reverend Jenna, and thank you, Maya Angelou. As our children and their teachers follow Reverend Jenna to their religious exploration opportunities, Pageant Prep Sunday number 2, please join in singing what for some of you will be an old favorite, "Go Now in Peace," as our recessional hymn.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
I'd like to point out again our table that is fairly new in our sanctuary, and to let you know that we're experimenting with how we can share the milestones and the obstacles in our lives. We know that not everyone wants to come up to this microphone and speak their obstacles and milestones into the mic, so you're welcome to come up at any point and put your milestones and obstacles on the card, and we'll add them to our book of life that will chronicle the life of our congregation. And if you're not able to be with us in the building on Sundays, I am receiving milestones and obstacles via email. You can email me at candles@uuneedham.org by the Friday before the service, and I will include them. If you would like it to be for the book of life, please do designate that in your email. And I would like to begin our sharing time with a milestone of my own. As many of you know, on Friday, I went before the UUA's credentialing body. I offered a chalice lighting and a sermon, and then I was grilled for about an hour. And then they invited me to leave the room, and when they called me back in, they gave me the very good news that I am approved for preliminary fellowship, which means that I can go forward and be ordained. Thank you. I'm so grateful for the support and the care and the love of this community. I don't know how I would have made it through the last year without all of you. So I would like to light a candle. And now if you are in the building and have a milestone or obstacle that you would like to share, please do come forward. Say your name and your pronouns if you would like into the microphone, and then describe briefly what is on your heart.
Hi, I'm Jen Packard. I use she, her pronouns. This is a candle of sorrow and gratitude and concern. Sorrow because my mom passed away on November 17th. She had Alzheimer's and was 77. But gratitude because I was able to go out to Washington where my family is and be with them. And I was able to see her while she was still responsive and talk to her. And being there with my dad and my sister was desperately needed. And concern because now my dad is, transitioning to a new life. He was married to my mom for 57 years. And for the past 5 years, he spent every minute caring for her. So this is a big change for him. But he'll be out over the holidays, so gratitude again. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Deborah Niles. I am back visiting, and it's really good to see all of you. I have a couple things, quick updates. First of all, I am all better from my fall off a horse about 6 weeks ago. Amazing. I'm just really feeling lucky at my age and wishing I had a different passion like knitting or something, but it's not happening. Very briefly, my children, who are now 34 years old, my twins, amazing. My son is getting married next summer. I know. My daughter is buying a house with her girlfriend and going to law school to pursue a career in changing the health care of our marginalized populations through social policy. So wish her luck. Thank you. Yeah.
Jeff Heller. I stand here to light a candle of joy, caution, concerns. I haven't, come very often, so I haven't really been here to celebrate or light candles. So, this October was 2 years since Debbie had passed. Big change in my life. And looking back, I've had, a grandson, and, I have a, new joy in life with a new partner, fiance. And as I move forward with those, those next chapters in life and a blending of families to look forward to. So, I have joys and concerns. It's a lot of work. At a time when I really, have been, I light a candle of concern because I look for the guidance on being an extrovert, passionate person. And sometimes it's hard to keep your mouth shut when there's so much to speak about in this world. And I toy between wanting to confront people to say, what the, versus I'm going to go over the top and be nice to people, overly nice to people, as I say, walk by on the streets, which gets to be challenging with every bit of news piece. So I reach out, look to all my community for all the kind of support and guidance, in my new life and the new world. So.
And now for all the milestones and obstacles that remain silent in our hearts and in our lives, and for the prayers of our neighbors near and far, we light a final candle. May the peace of this sanctuary be felt too wherever you are joining us from, as we remember that even though we are joining in worship together at different times and in different places, we are all still bound together in one deeply connected community. On this beautiful wintry morning, as we woke up to a light dusting of snow, I invite you now to put down your cares. Let us hold them for you as you rest your body and your spirit here in the sanctuary of our presence. Allow yourself to be enveloped and soothed by the silence as we breathe together, in and out. One more time, in and out. As we continue to breathe together, let us listen to these words from Vietnamese Zen Buddhist monk and activist Thich Nhat Hanh, first offered at an interfaith gathering in Canterbury, England, nearly 50 years ago. As we are together praying for peace, let us truly be with each other. Let us pay attention to our breathing. Let us be relaxed in our bodies and in our minds. Let us be at peace in our bodies and our minds. Let us return to ourselves and become wholly ourselves. Let us maintain a half smile on our faces. Let us be aware of the source of being common to us all and to all living things. Invoking the presence of great compassion, let us fill our hearts with our own compassion toward ourselves and toward all living beings. Let us pray that all living beings realize that they are all one family, all nourished from the same source of life. Let us pray that we ourselves cease to be the cause of suffering to each other. Let us plead with ourselves to live in a way which we will not deprive other living beings of air, water, food, shelter, or the chance to live. And with humility, with awareness of the existence of life and of the sufferings that are going on around us, let us pray for the establishment of peace in our hearts and on earth. Amen. Please remain seated and join in singing our meditative response, Dona nobis pacem. We will sing it twice through. The lyrics are in your orders of service on the screen and at number 388 in our gray hymnals.
This congregation has been supported by the volunteered time and treasure of its members and friends since its founding in 1711. This is the time in our service when we, the modern stewards of this church, offer what we can to build and sustain the congregation and the world we envision. For the month of December, our collections are being split 50-50 with Pathways Family Shelter. For many years, Pathways Family Shelter has provided a communal living space with 14 private family rooms to help local families with children get through difficult times. First Parish is also a longtime supporter of Pathways Family Shelter through our offering collection and our Mitten Tree Holiday Gifts program. It's my understanding that there's a tree in social hour here on site right now with mittens upon it that you can take. Or you can email our social action convener, Tracy Zinner. If you're not here, you don't have time to go fetch one, to make sure you can sign up to get a gift. To donate to today's offering, you can use one of 3 different methods as described in detail in your orders of service: text to give, donating through the website, dropping cash or a check in our collection plate, or mailing a check to First Parish. Whichever way you donate, please remember to specify whether it's meant for the plate collection or for your annual pledge. And if this is one of your first visits to First Parish, we encourage you to fill out a yellow card in your pewback or fill out the online visitors form at uuneedham.updates.church. And many thanks this morning to our member Barbara Ridge for our beautiful flowers in loving memory of her sister Mary on her birthday. Thank you for all you are able to give to help support and sustain this congregation and the vital work of our community partners. May the ushers now please come forward.
Our reading this morning comes from queer Euro-American author and counselor Ellen Bass. This is an excerpt from her poem, Pray for Peace. Pray to whomever you kneel down to, Jesus nailed to a wooden or plastic cross, his suffering face bent to kiss you, Buddha, still under the bow tree in scorching heat, Adonai, Allah, raise your arms to Mary that she may lay her palm on your brows, to Shekinah, Queen of heaven and earth, to Inanna in her striped descent. Then pray to the bus driver who takes you to work. On the bus, pray for everyone riding that bus, for everyone riding buses all over the world. Drop some silver and pray. Waiting in line for the movies, at the ATM, for your latte and croissant, offer your plea. Make your eating and drinking a supplication. Make your slicing of carrots a holy act, each translucent layer of onion a deeper prayer. To hawk or wolf or the great whale, pray. Bow down to terriers and shepherds and Siamese cats, fields of artichokes and elegant strawberries. Make the brushing of your hair a prayer, every strand in its own voice, singing in the choir on your head. As you wash your face, the water slipping through your fingers, a prayer. Water, softest thing on earth, a gentleness that wears away rock. If you're hungry, pray. If you're tired, pray to Gandhi and Dorothy Day, Shakespeare, Sappho, Sojourner Truth. When you walk to your car, to the mailbox, to the video store, let each step be a prayer that we all keep our legs, that we do not blow off anyone else's legs or crush their skulls. And if you're riding on a bicycle or a skateboard, in a wheelchair, each revolution of the wheels is a prayer. As the earth revolves, less harm, less harm, less harm. As you work, typing with a new manicure, a tiny palm tree painted on one pearlescent nail, or delivering soda or drawing good blood into rubber-capped vials, twirling pizzas. With each breath in, take in the faith of those who have believed when belief seemed foolish, who persevered. With every breath out, cherish. Pull weeds for peace, turn over in your sleep for peace. Feed the birds each tiny seed that spills onto the earth another second of peace. Wash your dishes, call your mother, drink wine. Shovel leaves or snow or trash from your sidewalk. Make a path. Fold a photo of a dead child around your credit card. Scoop your holy water from the gutter. Gnaw your crust, mumble along, stumbling your prayer through the streets. Here ends our reading.
Renowned spiritual teachers for eras and centuries have dreamed of peace. Shanti, Shalom, Pax, Salaam. For the Unitarian Universalists, curious and pluralistic seekers, open to ongoing revelation and wisdom from all corners of the world and humanity. Such a list as Ellen Bass gives of potential recipients of prayer could be overwhelming. How do you choose? Today, Bodhi Day, one might choose to pray for peace to the Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama, who taught how to be at peace and to avoid experiencing or causing suffering. In one collection of the Buddha's sayings, the Dhammapada, we find his words, "Better than 1,000 useless words is one useful word, hearing which one attains peace." And then there's Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, remembered in the hadith collections of his sayings as saying, "Kindness is a mark of faith. Faith is a restraint against all violence. Forgive those who have wronged you. Reconcile with those who have cut you off." In his Sermon on the Mount, according to the Gospel of Matthew, the prophet Jesus of Nazareth declares to the gathered crowd, "Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are the merciful, for they will receive mercy. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God." And though Jesus was born into the 200-year Pax Romana, the so-called imperial peace brought by the Roman Empire, not a peace that meant an absence of war, of violence, but a lack of revolution because of the guarantee of imperial violence against revolutionaries. At the time, about a third of the world's population lived under this false peace. Later in the Gospel of, according to Matthew, Jesus reminds his closest followers that, "Do not think that I have come to bring peace to the earth. I have come not to bring peace, but a sword." And those familiar with his life story will remember he once became so enraged at the capitalist exploitation of religious practice at the Jewish temple in Jerusalem that he flipped over tables and drove out all those who were selling at exorbitant prices. And the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad saying about forgiveness and reconciliation with those who have wronged you was not a saying the Prophet spoke, but what he had inscribed on one of his many swords. And while there are many tales of the Buddha's teachings guiding individuals to inner peace, there aren't so many about societal transformation, about the transformation of the kings he met toward peace. And come to think of it, the animals, our poet Ellen Bass mentioned the hawk, wolf, great whale, terriers, cats, none of which are even herbivores. As we heard from Maya Angelou, I can't help but worry God and worry about God. Are you there? Are you there really? Does the covenant you made with us still hold? To whom then do I pray? Dona nobis pacem, pax, Shanti, Shalom, Salaam. Please grant us peace as soon as you can, whoever you are who can, please. This is how my Unitarian Universalist brain works, at least and especially when I am tired. In seeking peace, inner and communal, I stumble at even the very first instruction, pray for peace to whomever you kneel before. I am curious, open to new revelation and wisdom, and I am exhausted and wish the instructions were a little simpler. Wish that the path to justice and peace were clearer, smoother. You may be thinking, Reverend Katie, this struggle you're describing is not one that I share. And to that I say, I'm so happy for you. I hope there's still a nugget of something for you to take home from all this. You likely see the source of the problem as well as I do. The problem does not stem from the complexity of the religious teachings that reflect reality, nor the historic context, the reality in which the teachers lived, nor within the Unitarian Universalist tendency toward both curiosity and sometimes overly critical thinking. The problem lies in the personal and collective exhaustion that makes it feel impossible to make the personal and communal experiments and changes and revolutions necessary to bring about the world of which we dream, a world of peace, love, and justice. A people kept busy, kept desperate, don't have the bandwidth to think, to organize, to overturn. Ellen Bass warned of this. If you're hungry, if you're tired, still pray. 20 years ago, Indian author and activist Arundhati Roy was honored with the Sydney Peace Prize, which Roy herself called ironic. That a person who spends most of her time thinking of strategies of resistance and plotting to disrupt the putative peace is given a peace prize. In her acceptance speech, Roy said, "Sometimes there's truth in old cliches. There can be no real peace without justice, and without resistance, there will be no justice." So what does peace mean in this savage, corporatized, colonized, militarized world? We know very well who benefits from war in the age of empire, but we must also ask ourselves honestly who benefits from so-called peace in the age of empire. Warmongering is criminal, but talking of peace without talking of justice could easily become advocacy for a kind of capitulation. And talking of justice without unmasking the institutions and the systems that perpetuate injustice is beyond hypocritical. Roy warned that she might end on an ironic note. There are hundreds of battles being fought around the world that need your skills, your minds, your resources. No battle is irrelevant. No victory is too small. The point is that the battle must be joined. Peace is not granted, despite our meditative response today, dona nobis pacem. It is not granted, but can be, will be, the result of an effort we each have joined. Our skills, minds, resources, attention, and commitment are necessary in this worldwide ironic battle for peace, for the establishment of justice, equity, and environmental sustainability that are necessary before true peace can be realized. Much of our work as Unitarian Universalists in the coming months requires, as Roy put it, unmasking the institutions and the systems that perpetuate injustice and discerning where our passions and our power intersect in strategies of resistance and disruption. If you come, you'll hear a lot more about the practices of justice and peace at today's Social Action Summit lunch. I would love to see you there and then. And to authentically and effectively assess how we will live our beliefs through action and care for our world in 2025 and far beyond, we have to be able to dig into our beliefs, our values, and tune out the noise. The noise of holiday consumerism that masks the thought-provoking and radical reasons for the season. Noise from the dominant culture of work first, self-care last that exploits our energy for profit and belittles rest and reflection. Noise from our devices, breaking our present moment attention again and again, making us reactive instead of responsive. Dona nobis pacem, peace is not granted, it is practiced, especially as Ellen Bass wrote, on the bus, in line, with that annoying coworker in the passive-aggressive family group text on the Needham Facebook page. What does it look like to practice peace? Jewish American author and librarian Jacqueline Jules writes, I almost reacted, almost questioned how he could dare complain about more pots to wash when I cooked all afternoon. Then I remembered the honeybee, how it dies a gruesome death with a stinger embedded in human skin. The bee tears a hole in its belly, pulling out the sac of venom. A honeybee values peace. It only stings when threatened, not over something as petty as who cooked and who cleaned up. And certainly not when it could rest, like I am right now, with feet up on the couch while my honey loads the dishwasher and scrubs every pot. Is the temporary thrill of the sting worth the gruesome death? And if not, how do we resettle and respond instead of reacting to stress, reacting even to danger? Before the Social Action Summit, before checking the to-do list, before opening the pinging news app on our devices, we can take a collective moment to connect with inner patience, inner wisdom, inner peace. Gay Euro-American poet and professor Michael Kisa-Moore writes, listen, turn everything off. when the noise of our lives drifts away, when the chatter of our minds sinks into that perfect lake of nothing, then, oh, then we can apprehend that golden mountain always there waiting for us to be still enough to hear it. Dona nobis pacem, pax, Shanti, Shalom, Salaam, the peace we seek, the love we hope to offer, the ability to differentiate between what is just and unjust. The poets and the prophets encourage us to look within to find this greater and deeper capacity. I wonder how you're carving out and sustaining time to be in touch with your own inner peace and to wrestle with what peacemaking calls each of us to do. Are you taking time to breathe? Are you breathing right now? Have you turned off that news app notification? Have you blocked off time in your calendar for the things that feed your spirit most? Have you been practicing forgiveness for yourself, for others? Whether your practice is prayer, meditation, reading, getting outdoors, moving your body, connecting with loved ones, connecting with yourself, and that which is holy, have you made and kept the time? Have you rested and recharged lately, especially in this busy season, so you can mindfully live our shared values of justice and equity, pluralism and interdependence, generosity and transformation, and our foundational value of love? I hope part of your practice is and continues to be coming or logging in here, participating in the life of First Parish, sharing your insights and learning from your peers of all ages. We are each needed. One last story from disabled Jewish theologian and professor Rabbi Julia Watts-Belzer, whose wisdom graced our service last Sunday as well. She writes, I started keeping Shabbat in graduate school, not the time most folks decide to set aside 25 hours each week for rest and rejuvenation. I can still remember how scandalous it felt, how subversive it was to come back to my dorm room and begin the ritual of unwinding my mind from the endless clutch of assignments, deadlines, worries, and work. No matter what I had to do, no matter what I left undone, on Friday night I surrendered to the setting sun. I'd set out my tea lights, take a breath, strike a match, chant the blessings, and let the world turn to shadow and to gold. She continues, changing the cultural landscape isn't simply a matter of personal spiritual practice. To suggest we simply opt out of the dominant culture's demands fails to reckon with the way expectations about production and productivity are baked into the very structure of society. I live in a country, it's America. I live in a country where 22% of the workforce has no access to paid sick leave, where calling off can get you in the red or keep you from making rent, where many folks work 2 and 3 jobs to make ends meet, where caregivers almost never earn a living wage, where access to good health insurance often depends on a person's ability to secure and keep a job with benefits. Who gets to rest? Who gets to live with ease? The transformation we need isn't simply a transformation of the heart, a matter of spiritual awakening. Jewish tradition describes Shabbat as a foretaste of the world to come, a little touch of paradise, a promise. But I am not content to wait. I'm not content to put off gentleness and generosity. I'm not content to leave intact a world whose pace pushes certain bodies and minds to the margins, a world that runs roughshod over anyone who can't perform to a high-pitched standard. And so, Belzer concludes, that's part of what I keep when I keep Shabbos, a commitment to building and dreaming a different way of being. For those few hours, I feel it in my bones, I taste its sweetness on my tongue, a world that offers each of us enough, that gives all of us the space to savor, a world that values us for who we are, not just for all that we have done, a world that teaches us to sink into the slow, to linger over twilight, to tune our hearts to a different kind of time, a world that shelters us, a world that's made for us, a world in which we know ourselves whole. We angels and mortals, believers and non-believers, look heavenward and speak the word aloud. Peace. We look at our world and speak the word aloud. Peace. We look at each other and then into ourselves and say without shyness or apology or hesitation, peace, my brother, peace, my sister, peace, my sibling, peace, my soul. May we commit ourselves to rest and reflection, to discernment and action, to building just communities where peace can thrive. Pax, Shanti, Shalom, Salaam. May this be so. Blessed be, and amen. Our closing hymn, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place, was written by Euro-Canadian UU singer-songwriter Joyce Poley. Please rise in body or in spirit and join in singing When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. The lyrics are in your orders of service on screen and at number 1008 in your teal hymnals.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, we all see our faces in each other's eyes. Then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. We are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place. When we tell a story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place.
As we near the end of our service, I'd like to highlight for you all some of the things coming up at First Parish. All of us, all of you, are welcome to our social hour after the postlude, both online and in person. And if you're on site and a relative newcomer and you want long-timers to come and chat with you, please take one of the red mugs at social hour. Not only are the red mugs easy to spot, they are also our largest coffee mugs. And please do look for the mitten tree that Reverend Katie highlighted in our offering time. It is in Parish Hall, and you can pick up a mitten with the description of gifts to give to a family in need. And also, last year, you all were so generous that those mittens went really quickly. So if you are joining us online or you don't get a chance to grab a mitten, Pathways Family Shelter has also always asked for gift cards. If you'd like to get one for Target or Stop and Shop or Walmart, those gifts are also gratefully received. Our social action roundtable lunches today, and it will be in Parish Hall. It begins at noon, and if you have a passion for social justice, please do join us. The next Lane Lyceum, Raising Anti-Racist Kids, getting that conversation started, is this afternoon from 4 to 5:30 in Parish Hall. Vespers are on Thursday evening, Creative Escapes Friday morning, and Friday Fun Night happens this coming Friday. We will be decorating gingerbread houses and doing other holiday activities, sharing snacks and pizza, and enjoying one another's company. Next Sunday is our holiday pageant. Super excited for that. And after the service, we will be having a First Parish 101. So if you are new to our congregation, please join Reverend Katie and the chair of our engagement committee, Tony Chakala, for a session on who we are and how you can get yourself connected here. You can find details about all of these and other upcoming events by subscribing to our e-newsletter, The Bell Notes, which you can find also in our online order of service at uuneedham.updates.church. And now, as we always do, we extinguish our chalice with words, promising to carry its flame in our hearts until we are all together again, no matter how long it is until we are all together again. Please join me from home and here in the building in saying these words written by UU Minister Reverend Elizabeth Sully-Jones. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, nor the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
As we close our worship today, take these words from Euro-American psychiatric nurse and lay Unitarian Universalist Jill Beth Veronica Sweeney with you as a benediction. Take care of your home, your remarkable body. It needs blueberries, brisk walks, back rubs. Take care of your home, your mind and soul. It craves stillness, friendship, a pile of books by the bed. Take care of your home, the roof over your head. It asks to be filled with music and candlelight, to be free of cobwebs and shadows. Take care of your home, your community. It expects you to protect the weak, to visit the lonely, to love the children. Take care of your home, the earth. It cries out for abundant green forests, clear blue waters, and peace. May it be so that we take such care. Our service begins when our service ends. Blessed be, and amen.